Yo, what's up guys, it's Yeti here. So in today's video, I want to go over the PvE changes for Mage in Season 2 of World of Warcraft's The War Within, the latest expansion. So I'm going to go over the patch notes, give you my thoughts, and explain how that might impact the gameplay for all of you fellow mages out there. So let's get right into it. So first, we have three small changes. First of all, Mass Barrier will have its mana cost reduced to 8%, which was previously 12%. Not really a big change there. Polymorph's health regeneration will be reduced by 50%, which means when you are polymorphing a monster, it will regenerate the health slower now. Polymorph will now break based on small damage threshold instead of any damage. So they are doing this across most of CC. They're giving it some sort of threshold so you don't accidentally pop CC instantly, which is nice. I think they want us to be a little bit smarter with CC usage in the dungeons. Now let's cover the Frostfire changes. Overall, Frostfire changes I think are focused at removing the aura tracking and making talents more connected to each other to just make the gameplay smoother. So first of all, Access Fire will now be triggered when you cast either Meteor as a Fire Mage or Comet Storm when you're a Frost Mage. Previously, Access Fire was triggered when you hit max stacks of Fire Mastery. So you would have a stacking buff, and when you hit the max stacks, you would get Access Fire. The Frostfire burst damage has been increased by 70%. For those of you who don't know what Frostfire burst is, it basically, creates that after you cast Comet Storm, it creates your ice lands to explode in a Frostfire burst, dealing more Frostfire damage to nearby targets. Or for fire, it means that when you're casting Meteor, your Fire Blast also explodes and does AoE damage. It's one of the talent nodes. Now, Access Frost will be triggered when you consume Access Fire, which, earlier you already have a new way of getting. So now, after you're going to consume Access Fire, you can also get Access Frost, which was previously also obtained when you stacked all the Frost Mastery. Access Frost can now also stack up twice, which is really cool. And it's gonna now cast Ice Nova at 200 effectiveness. Before, it was 125%. So it's really nice, just overall smooth gameplay. It means that you're gonna pretty much use Access Fire when it's there, but Access Frost, you have a natural way of consuming it. They have also changed the talent locations of Access Frost, Access Fire, Isometric, Core, Imbued Warding, and Meltdown. Just, I guess, to make it a little bit more balanced. And now Frostfire Bolt will appropriately consume overflowing energy when it critically strikes. This was a bug that was present at start of the War Within already, and I think it took them quite a long time to fix, but better now than never. And they also made it so Frostfire Empowerment is tracked on the personal resource display. And for those of you who don't know what that is basically when you go into the settings and you turn on the little bar under your character, which shows your health and mana and also shows some buffs. Now this also shows Frostfire Empowerment, which means that when you have the instant Frostfire Bolt cast available, it's going to be glowing under your character. Really, really nice quality of life improvement. For Sunfury, there's only one change. They're making it so that when you consume Glorious Incandescence while at or around max range, it will also appropriately summon meteorites, which was sometimes bugged. There are some changes for Arcane Mage as well. They're pretty happy with how Arcane turned out to be. They're only changing some of the raw numbers that this class can do. For example, Enlightened has been updated. Arcane damage dealt is increased based on your current mana, up to 6% at full mana. Mana regen is increased based on your current mana, up to 20% when out of mana. So they're just changing the values there. Arcane Search is now again tracked on the personal resource display, which I mentioned earlier. And the positions of some talents have been changed in Gates 1 and Gates 2. They've also updated Sunfury for Arcane. They made it so Glorious Incandescence has been updated. Spells that consume Burden of Power summon a storm of 4 meteorites at target. Meteorites summoned this way grant 1 Arcane charge upon landing. So very, very nice. You can get 4 meteorites and 4 arcane charges. Burden of Power once again benefits Arcane Barrage, so it buffs it and it's very, very nice. And they also again made Burden of Power to be tracked on the personal resource display. Overall, just making the class a little bit smoother, adding stuff to the personal resource display, and making it so you can actually potentially double dip again. I like that a lot. Now let's talk about the changes for Fire. I think Fire Mage is the one that probably requires the most changes. Not many people are playing it right now. So they're updating Hit Shimmer. It no longer makes Scorch instant cast. Now instead it increases Scorch damage by 10%. Pyrotechnics has been updated. Critical chance increased to 20%, which was previously 10%. Control Destruction has been updated. Now also triggers from Fireball. So control destruction means that whenever you're damaging a target with Pyroblast or Fireball, increases the damage it receives from Ignite. So it's just, stacking damage. Master of Flame has been updated. It now increases Ignite and Fireball's damage by 15% when combustion is not active. So really nice, just a flat increase in damage. Call of the Sun King has been updated. No longer grants an additional charge of Phoenix Flames and now grants 15% increased Phoenix Flames damage. Fire Blast cooldown increased to 14 seconds. It was 12 seconds. Hypothermia duration reduced to 5 seconds. It was previously 6. What hypothermia does is while combustion is not active, consuming Hot Streak has a low chance to cause all Pyroblasts and Flame Strikes to not have a cast time and be guaranteed critical strikes. So it's when you're basically just slamming Pyroblasts instantly. Pyroblast's damage has been increased by 10%. Pyroblast's mana cost has been reduced to 1.5%. Was previously 2.5, kind of irrelevant in my opinion. Flame Strike damage has been increased by 10% as well. Flame Strike mana cost has been reduced. Sun King's Blessing damage increased to 280%. Phoenix Reborn now refunds 1 Phoenix Flame charge on use. It was previously 2. Phoenix Reborn's Phoenix Flames damage bonus has been increased to 200%. Phoenix Reborn's descriptions, auras, and tooltips have been updated to better communicate their effects. They also fixed an issue that caused Pyromaniac to grant hypothermia more often than it should, and you can no longer trigger hypothermia when you already have it. So overall, they just tried to make the class a little bit smoother. They tried to make the values a little bit lower, so you have less spells, but they hit a little bit harder. I think they just want to make the class feel a little bit slower overall, and they want it to be a little bit more, impactful depending on what you're pressing. So you're not just like pressing buttons as fast as possible in that window, and then if you mess up, then all of your DPS is gone. Overall, I like these changes. Now let's talk about Frost. It's probably my favorite spec to play in the game right now. Frostfire Mage has been an absolute amazing spec throughout the War Within, and let's read more about this spec as well. So first of all, Freezing Winds has been redesigned. It now causes Frozen Orb to deal 15% more damage to units affected by your Blizzard. Blizzard's damage has been increased by 100%. Blizzard increased to a 12-yard radius. It was previously before, so quite a big increase. Blizzard's duration has been increased to 12 seconds. Previously it was 8 seconds. So overall, AoE is going to be also a little bit more chill, a little bit more consistent. Ice Lance is empowered by Fingers of Frost, no longer consume Winter's Chill. That's mind-blowing. That is insane. I love that. Glacial Assault's description has been updated to better communicate its effects. Permafrost Lance's talent icon has been updated to match its aura icon. Now they also changed Spellslinger a little bit. They made it so consuming Finger of Frost or Winter's Chill now generates a Splinter. Before it was just Winter's Chill. Splintering Orbs now generate 5 Splinters for Frost Mages. So before, when you would, use your Frozen Orb, you would get up to 6 Splinters. Now it's up to 5. So I guess they just want you to get more Splinters different ways with Ice Lances, for example. Frost Splinter damage has been reduced by 10%. Splinter Storm's damage has also been reduced by 10%. So these are the 2 passives that are, making it so that whenever you are basically Ice Lancing and consuming Winter's Chill and Finger of the Frost, just the passive damage is a little bit lower, but I guess you'll have more charges. And they also made it so the embedded Frost Splinter damage will be reduced by 10%, which, is the instant cast whenever you, send out a Splinter and just do more damage that way. The changes are looking very, very good for Frost Mage, just more smoother gameplay. And I think for Mage in general, I think they're just trying to make it smoother, a little bit slower to play, a little bit more consistent, removing all the bugs. I think Mage is going to be absolutely insane in Season 2. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, please press that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.